it's Jessica from the Boys and Girls Club. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying healthy at home and just kind of relaxing. Today we're going to be working on self-esteem shields. So for this activity, you're just going to need a piece of paper and a pencil or just something that you can write with. It would also be good to have some crayons laying around or pencil crayons so that we can kind of color in our activity at the end. So let's get started. Okay, so on my sheet of paper, the first thing I'm going to do is draw the shield. So when we're drawing our shield, the very first thing to draw is going to be the top of the shield. So we're going to draw that at the top of the page. The top of the shield kind of looks a little bit like a flattened and stretched out W. So when you're drawing it, you're just going to do two curves at the top of your page. So 1, 2. So again, it kind of looks like a stretched out W or maybe a little bit of a wave. So now that we have the top of our shield, the next thing we're going to do is draw the two sides of the shield that will help us to finish drawing what the shield should look like. So I'm going to do the left side first, and when I'm going to draw my line, I'm going to make sure that I end it about in the middle with the top of my shield. So it'll look something like that, so that the bottom of the left side is kind of lined up with the top of the shield. And then I'm going to do the same thing again on the right side. There we go. So this is our shield. We have the top that kind of looks like the W, and then it kind of comes to a point at the bottom in the middle of the shield. So now that we have the outline of our shield, the next thing we're going to do is draw one long line from the top of the shield down to the very bottom, so that we're kind of going to have two sides to our shield. So now we have our shield kind of split into two separate pieces, and we're going to draw one more line so that we have 4 sections in our shield. So our next line is going to go from one side of the shield to the other, and it'll be about halfway down, so in the middle of the shield sort of thing. There we go. So this is our shield with our 4 sections in it, and so each section is going to have a title. So we can write the titles of the sections in first, and then we'll kind of go back to them and fill out each section together. So the first section of our shield, so this top corner, we're going to title it My Name. And so this is just where we're going to be writing down our name. And if you want, you can underline it just so that you remember that this is the title of the section, and then underneath it is where you're going to be writing down your name. But we'll come back to that later. The next section of the shield, you're going to title it My Skills. So My Skills. And then underline it. And so you've got your skills labeled there, and underneath it is where you would talk about all of the things that you think you're really good at or some of your special talents. The bottom corner on the left side, we're going to title it My Goals. So these are just different things that you would write down. They could be goals for the rest of the day, it could be goals for the rest of the week, or maybe even a goal for something you want to do when you're older, like maybe a job you would want to have. So the last section of the shield is called What I'm Famous For. So what I'm famous for. I'm going to underline it. So under this section, this is where you talk about all of the things that your friends would describe you being really good at. So some different things you can do. For example, if you're really good at baking, you could say, what I'm famous for, baking, because your friends know you as someone who's really good at baking cupcakes or cookies, for example. So now that we have the sections of our shield filled in, we're going to actually write down our own ideas. So I'm going to write down some ideas for myself, but when you do your shield, just make sure you think of some things that might be your special skills or some of your goals or what you're famous for. So in the first section, we're going to write down our name. So I would write Jessica. So that's our first section. Our first section is probably going to be the quickest to fill in because it is just our name. The next section that we're filling in is called My Skills. So when we're thinking about self-esteem, we're thinking of things that help to make us very confident and things that we're proud of about ourselves. So when we think of our skills, we're just thinking of some things that we might be really good at. So for example, I'm really good at math and science. Those are two things that I'm very proud of, and I'm proud that I'm good at those. So I'm going to write down math as one of the skills and science as another. Another skill that I think I have is tennis. So I like to play tennis. It's a sport that I've played for as long as I can remember. So I'm going to put that down as another skill. So if you have any sports that you play or you like to do any crafts, for example, knitting, that could be another special skill that you could put down. So any just little talents that you have, any subjects that you're good at, different activities you like to do. For the My Goals section, so this is something that we could fill in for just today. So our goals for today, it could be our goals for next week, or it could be goals for when you kind of get a little older and maybe you want to start looking for a job. So for my goals, I'm going to write down some goals that I have for the week. So one of my goals is to walk my dog at least once a day for this week. So I'm going to write that down. And then my second goal for this week is to bake at least one day this week. So I'm going to also write that down. And now that I'm writing these goals down too, it'll be a good way for me to look back at my shield throughout the week and make sure that I'm remembering the goals that I have so that I can make sure I complete them for this week. And then the final section is what I'm famous for. So this is the section where you start to think about ways that your friends would describe you and where you think about some qualities that your friends have told you you're really good at. So for example, one thing that my friends always describe about me is that I'm really good at baking and I'm really good at cooking. They love to come over and eat any desserts that I make, and they like to come over for dinner. So for things that I'm famous for, I'm going to write down baking and cooking. For you, it might be the same, or it could be something like you're really good at soccer and your friends always notice how good you are at it. It could be that you're really good at acting, or you do really well in drama class, so you're a really good actress. So kind of just different skills that your friends notice about you. So for me, I'm going to write down baking and cooking. And so now that we have our self-esteem shield filled out, we can color it in just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. So I'm going to color it in quickly, and then I'll show you what my shield looks like when I finished coloring it. Okay, so this is my finished self-esteem shield. I just added a title to the top of my shield as well, just so that I can remember that this shield is a self-esteem shield. Once you've finished yours and you finished coloring yours, if you want to take a picture and share it with Boys and Girls Club, that would be awesome, because we'd love to see the work that you did.